Thank you very much for clicking on the link to watch this Data-Linc video. Today we're going to be presenting the SRM8200 serial and Ethernet modem. However, before I jump into the details about the SRM8200, I'd like to very briefly introduce Data-Linc for those of you that are not familiar with the brand. For starters, Data-Linc Group are industrial modem specialists headquartered in Issaquah, Washington. Data-Linc Group have been around for 32 years, dedicated to the manufacturing of nothing but industrial-grade modems. And Data-Linc are probably best known for introducing a military-grade technology known as FHSS into the market. FHSS stands for Frequency Hopping Spread Spectrum, and that technology has been the foundation of Data-Linc's portfolio for the past 30 years. So this is what we will be reviewing today, the SRM8200. This video in particular is aimed towards anybody working on a project that requires a solid wireless link, but especially if you need simultaneous Ethernet and serial applications running on the same wireless network simultaneously. Potential types of projects where the SRM8200 could be very beneficial are things like motion control, process control, site monitoring, the transmission of voice or text, or any other area which would require fast update rates. This is what the modem actually looks like. Going from left to right, you can see it comes with a 2-pin Phoenix power connector, 2 Ethernet ports, 2 serial ports, an SMA antenna connector, as well as a micro USB port for configuration. Some of the basic features of the SRM8200 are that it operates using FHSS, as you would probably guess. It operates at 900 megahertz, which is a low enough frequency to provide extremely reliable data transmission through crowded, noisy environments. This means there's no FCC license required. It's less susceptible to interference. The transmissions are difficult to intercept and also resistant to deliberate jamming. This modem has user-selectable RF speeds of up to 4 Mbps, which can in some cases even support live video. It's got a full watt of power, which supports long-range transmission, up to 40 miles, as you can see here, with line of sight, of course, but further with repeaters and high-gain antennas. So long-distance applications are a perfect fit for the SRM8200. The SRM8200 comes with 2 serial and 2 Ethernet ports, as we saw on the previous slide, allowing the user to run multiple applications using different protocols simultaneously. The data stream is secured using AES 256-bit encryption, making this a device that uses the same type of encryption as the U.S. military, therefore very secure. And the construction of the equipment is extremely robust, using heavy cast aluminum with temperature ratings of -40 to 167 degrees Fahrenheit, making this a great choice for mission-critical industrial applications. And in addition to those basic features, the SRM8200 also has ASL. Now, what is ASL? So we covered FHSS. It's an extremely powerful technology. On top of FHSS, it's got a feature known as adaptive spectrum learning. So for starters, it's a feature that's new to Data-Linc, which allows for faster and more reliable wireless communication than any previous Data-Linc modem model. ASL is a mechanism by which underutilized channels are detected and used. Essentially, ASL acquires awareness about the spectrum usage and evolves over time with environmental conditions. And this lets multiple networks coexist reliably in a geographical region, even when the environment changes. So why is there a need for ASL? Well, I'll answer the question with another. Do you believe that the demand for wireless devices is increasing or decreasing? I think the very obvious answer is that it's increasing, right? There's a very rapidly growing demand for wireless devices, which is going to require devices that can automatically adapt to their environments, right? Making ASL technology very valuable for applications that are Industry 4.0. Some of the benefits of ASL, as we covered, better spectrum access and utilization, but also the ability to adjust emission to reduce or maintain levels of interference to nearby systems. It's great for high data rate transmission while maintaining quality of service in a changing environment. There are other additional features to the SRM 8200. For example, it's practically a computer. It's an edge computer with a processor and memory. And I say this because the SRM 8200 can actually run Linux applications on the actual modem, making it great as an edge device. So, for example, if you ran an application on the SRM 8200, right, a Linux application on the SRM 8200, within your industrial wireless network that reported anomalies within that network and within your installation, but it only did so by exception, then you would reduce the amount of traffic that's being transmitted, as edge devices do, all while keeping your installation monitored, safe, and secure. The SRM 8200 also supports IP filtering and SNMP, so it can be easily managed. It provides a very accessible network map, which allows a user to see the health of a network from any node. And additionally, the network can be configured from any node in the network. And for those of you that are watching this, that are familiar with the way things were done before with radio, you'd have to drive to the actual node to check a communication error, right? So if your modems were, like in this case, 40 miles apart, that's a lot of driving just to check a radio. In this case, you can check the health of your network from a central location. Also, a support bundle for troubleshooting is available, giving you real-time diagnostics that can be shared for troubleshooting purposes. So that's very handy as well. Here are some of the advanced features of the SRM 8200. We covered adaptive spectrum learning, but it also has forward error correction, which controls the error in data transmission and gives the user the ability to correct errors without a need to retransmit data. Applied in situations where retransmissions are very, very costly, and this therefore becomes a very valuable feature to have in radios, and not all industrial radios feature FEC, ours do. It also comes with packet compression, which provides the great speeds up to 4 Mbps, and packet aggregation, which bundles multiple packets into a single transmission unit, reducing the overhead associated with each transmission. This makes error recovery a lot easier and very useful in situations where each transmission unit may have significant overheads. Here's a few examples of where an SRM 8200 might be used in the field to turn things on and off from, distances up to 40 miles, right? For example, generators, alarms, lights, conveyor belts, pumps, that type of thing. Also, if there are applications with moving parts like elevators or robots or cranes. Also monitoring telemetry data, temperature, voltage, current, pressure, humidity, process control such as cement mixing, packaging and labeling, bottling, water treatment, and of course, manufacturing. Here's an example of how the SRM 8200 would be integrated into a network that has PLCs. Over to the right, you have your master radio. In the middle, you have a repeater remote. To the left, you have the final remote. In this particular case, the master is sending instructions for both the repeater remote and the remote. The repeater remote in the middle is receiving the instructions from the master, and it does whatever it needs to do, sending that over to the PLC and the rest of the things on that network. But whatever instructions isn't for it, it bounces it over to the remote over on the left-hand side so that it can then do what the master needs it to do. And so that's basically it. That's what we have for you today. That was the SRM 8200. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, there's our number. There's an email address where you can reach out to us. If you have any live projects, please reach out to us. If you want to request a demo, please reach out to us. Questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to us. And if you need more information on the SRM 8200, there's a link down at the bottom of the page where you can go get that for yourself. Thank you very much for watching.